Okay, here we go. We're gonna start doing a couple other things here. We're trying to get these corners a little bit started here where it should be cut out for the ball. So we're just gonna go back and forth here a little bit, and just to make a line. All right. This is a fun project if you want something to do when in between other big projects. These don't take too long to do, especially when you can drill that hole, those holes on the side. I really never did one until, you know, I've been carving 30 years now, and I've never really done one of these. And I knew they were going to be teaching it at the meeting, and I thought, well, it would be kind of interesting to see how to do one. It really never sparked my interest until I actually started doing one. Now, some people, you know, like doing these all the time. Some people like doing the chain. Maybe I'll do a chain later on. Okay, so once we get those all those sides kind of done first, now you don't want to free it up yet. You don't want to dig this out too far yet, okay? You just want to try to get that out. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to start, somebody said, well, you try to get it into a pill form, and I thought, well, that's a good way to explain it. I had a gentleman across from me explaining this to me because he had done a bunch of them. And he said, I try to make it into a pill form and then whittle it down. And he said, and you don't want to free it up yet, that it's going to be sliding back and forth, because you have to round it into a ball. So it's fast now between, you know, it's attached to that wood. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut down, and then I'm going to just start rounding each corner off. Take a corner out, just like so. Alright, nice and simple. And then we're going to go in the other direction. Once we get those four done, we're going to go in this direction. Start rounding it off this way. And it takes some time. I was surprised how long it actually did take to free this up, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to round this off. So what I do is I go back. After I do that, I kind of start rounding off like you're doing the end of a dowel, you know, just rounding stuff off. And you want to leave this almost completely out right now. That will be trimmed down. You'll see it. You know, so this is the way I kind of did it. Now, if you have to, you can mark your pencil in the center just to make sure you don't go past that. You know, it's just a reference point. I'm all for doing reference points and such. Okay, so I'm going to start rounding it up a little bit more on each side, each corner. Okay. And the ball really does become a lot smaller. You start working its way down. Now, here's the other thing. If you want to do two balls in this, what you would do, real quickly, is you would put one here and drill a hole in between, a hole here, and, you know, hole, like 3 holes, and leave the 2 centers full. Then you can have 2 balls instead of 1 in one of these. I like 1. I think that's pretty neat. So I might do a smaller one and put it on a keychain, or use it as an ornament, you know, or something of that nature. Now I turned it around. I'm now starting on the other side. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to you want to try to keep those pillars as straight as, I call them pillars, yeah, as straight as you can. And it's kind of a little awkward way to get in there, because you're always cutting against the grain, and that's why that solution that I told you about is nice, because you don't have to put a lot of pressure. See how I'm choking up on this thing? That's what clipped me earlier this evening. Always try to use your thumb to guide it if you can. Okay, so, and we're going to keep going here. It's This is a nice kind of a, not a mindless project, but an interesting one for me. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would when we actually sat down to do it. And really, it took me a couple of hours to figure out what I was doing. So if you feel it's taking a little longer than it should, that's okay. You know, and I'm going to start chopping this out a little bit more and getting that ball a little bit rounder. See how many minutes I have here, and then I'll keep working on this. And what you're doing is just rounding this ball. Now you see I have a little gap there. That's going to be, you can kind of start whittling that down and try to get it as much into a ball as you can. Now if you start it with too wide, you're going to have to cut all this down, okay? So you want to be careful of that. But I'm going to keep rounding these corners off. And then I'll show you a little trick I thought of trying to free this up. It was a little tough to try to get that ball to roll in it, because once I had it freed up from the sides, it was rolling, and I actually had to hang on to it while I was carving it, which isn't the most convenient thing to do. But it's doable. It's not that you can't do it, but it's a lot easier to keep it attached like I do now, because it allows you to have better control of your knife and your piece. You know, and the reason I don't go all the way to that edge yet, because I'm digging down in there, and there's going to be little knife marks I want to get rid of a little bit later. So we're going to keep fussing with this, and I'll go another minute or so here before. Okay, this definitely, so the next thing you're trying to do is you're trying to get this round down to here, you know, where we have this kind of marked off. So this side has to come off a little bit more. This has to come off. So you'll just have to eyeball it and go back and forth to the different sides and see how it goes. Alright? I don't know who really invented this whole idea. This has been around for years and years and years, and I'm sure there's other people that have taught it along the way, so I don't, of course, take any claim to it at all. You know, I don't know really who started it. I have no clue. I've heard of the people doing this for way back when I was carving. This was a huge project for people to try, for beginners to try. So it's been around for years and years that I know of. I can't even, I have to look in some of my old carving books to see if it's even in any of the carving books that I have. Alright, so I'll be back. We'll keep working on this, okay? Bye-bye.